And you don't like the fact that Max Holloway dropped out.
Yeah, and I just heard
he has a leg injury,
a
leg problem.
Yeah.
If you would have heard before the show started, I got the breaking news of that. I go, what? But now you didn't get that what? Because Chris said it before we got on air.
I got to be honest. I just assumed that you would have seen it.
Well,
because
you know what they say about that whole
usually...
assume thing.
I know.
But listen, go ahead. What happened now?
So it was announced that, yeah, I know. That's a tough one.
Because before, I mean, Frankie had to pull out. He never pulls out because he got that fucking eye down, whatever happened.
Yeah, whatever, his orbital bone or something.
Yeah, man. And now he has, what the fuck? It's
yeah,
not
this
meant
is
to
the
be.
first fight that Max has ever pulled out of, but he had to pull out. He has a leg injury, and he tweeted following the UFC said that he had to be out of the fight. And Max tweeted, I asked the docs if we could cut off my leg, then asked the commission if I could fight handicap. They told me at the end of the day, it is what it is. Had dozens of family from Hawaii coming up for this one. I know it sucks, but hang in there. We're going to reschedule as soon as possible.
So they're going to reschedule.
Well, that's what... Nothing official from the UFC. So this is all just like what the guys have tweeted since this went down. Frankie responded on Instagram and said, here we go again. Definitely disappointed, but fate wasn't having it.
Sure.
I wish Max a speedy recovery.
I like that
but
thing
the
about
show
fate.
must go on. See you all in Vegas March 3rd. So Frankie's saying he's going to be there, but the UFC hasn't said if there's a replacement fight or anything like that. Yeah. But that's a tough one. Yeah, because I was looking forward to that fight.
Me too. That's a fucking... bummer, man. I fucking heard. I was so excited. Oh fuck! I come in and fucking just. Look, I'm sad, Jimmy.
So that happens, right? So now they're looking for it. So that was the main event fight on UFC 222. So Cody Garbrandt, who obviously lost his title to TJ Dillashaw, he sees an opportunity. He jumps in and he's challenging TJ to fight him to step in and fight on that card.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
TJ, isn't he supposed to be fighting DJ?
Well, so TJ responded and was like, hey, smart guy, like, I just had a kid. I'm not even training. Like, I'm
going to get ready in 4 weeks. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to give you a shot in 4 weeks. It took me years to get back to the title.
2 years to get back, yeah.
So TJ saying he wants to wait for DJ in July, which is rumored to be when that's
I get it. That's a bigger fight.
And then Jimmy Rivera, seeing this, jumps in and he's like, I'll fight Cody. So
there you go. Everybody wants the bigger name.
Yeah.
Everybody, or that's fucking crazy.
Right.
But
so yeah, that's bad. Right. Very sad news. Max is a great guy, and you know that he's such an animal. There's no way he doesn't want to fight, but they'll fight when they're meant to fight. Like what did George Foreman say? The fight hadn't been delayed; it was intended to happen at that time. George Foreman. No one had a cooler way of speaking than George Foreman in 1975. Yeah. No one. In a battle in the Rumble in the Jungle, Zaire Ali, Foreman got hurt in sparring, and they had to delay it by 6 weeks. Everyone had to stay in Zaire for 6 weeks.
Wow, man.
So what a great fucking card. I saw most of the fights. I flew home from Denver. I was doing shows, so I always watch on...
Here, wait, I'm really sorry.
Sure.
So this was just one other like little thing that happened over the weekend with all this stuff. So the fight...
What am I looking at?
I'll show you. So
My penis.
Conor McGregor, after the announcement came that Max had to pull out of the fight, Conor posted a picture from their fight in 2013 where Conor's got his hand pushing Max up against the cage and says, when there's no referee to save you, like being a ball breaker towards Max. And then Max replied, when there is, and has a fight, has a picture from the Floyd fight when the ref is stepping in to save Conor.
Oh, touche.
Yeah.
That was his fight with, Conor definitely won that fight with Max, but that was, Max, he was killing everybody else. Max was in there. And he
Decision?
Yeah, decision.
Yeah, Max hasn't lost since that fight. So.
Yeah.
That's wild. That is wild.
Yeah.
And definitely improved since then. So that's what makes everything so exciting.
Yeah, it's fun that those two go back and forth. I think Conor respects that, at least that Max. Yeah. That would be a great fight if they ever fought.
Oh, boy.
But also they can go back and forth and have like a good build up to that fight, I think.
Speaking of fights,
I saw most of them.
Let's do the main call. Let's do our picks, right?
One I want to get into before that is I want to say Maya Stevenson against Polyana Viana.
Ooh.
Polyana Viana, was that her first fight in the UFC? I believe it was.
Yes.
And she was a former jiu-jitsu champion. She took her down right away, and it was a rear naked choke. She was fucking savage in there. She is tremendous. Maya Stevenson showed some good defense on the ground. I thought she got out of a potential armbar, and she got out of a couple of things. But the old thing do I want to stay on the back and get pounded, or do I want to take the space they give me and get up? And she did it, and she was rear naked choked and tapped quickly. But that's a trick I've learned that they do is they'll just give you a little bit of space. Like, yeah, you can get up, stupid. Go ahead.
And then
Give me that neck.
You take that back, right?
Absolutely.
You little spider monkey.
So that was a tremendously entertaining fight.
That was nice,
Tim
man.
Means, I thought, won the final 2 out of 3 rounds.
I agree with that.
And it was, of course, they said a lot of people think it was the hometown decision. Possible. I thought that Davison Figueiredo was tremendous against Joseph Morales. Team Alpha Male guy almost guillotined in the first round, which is kind of ironic. And I believe it was a TKO in the second. Was it the second round?
Yeah, second round.
That,
late in the second.
Yeah, it was tremendous. He landed a left hook and was able to finish him. Really good fight.
By the way, Joe Soto, he's having a rough go. Is this his second in a row he's lost or 3?
I think it's just 2 in a row.
Okay, don't make me add another one on. What am I, an asshole? But by submission, now by knockout, he's having a rough.
Yeah, he won 3 in a row, and then he's lost to Brett Johns. He got submitted with the calf slicer. That was pretty recently, actually. And then Yuri Alcantara knocked him out.
Yuri Alcantara just that was a tremendous. Yeah, it was a first round TKO. I thought there was a big delay by the referee in that one. I thought that he was clearly out, and he was up against the cage, and I thought there was a big delay by the ref in calling that one. And one of the fights we'll address later, Dana also felt that about another fighter. Yeah. But I wasn't sure when he first was back. I'm like, I thought that was a bit of a delay by the referee. I forget who the ref was in that one. I believe it was a Brazilian referee whose name I don't know.
Yeah, I can check. Was it Osiris Maya?
Maybe he's not Brazilian. I saw his face.
Okay.
He's dark hair. I could be completely right. You want to start with Thiago Santos against Anthony Smith? What'd you think, Matt?
Well, let's go through let's do our thing.
All right, the first one.
Let's do our thing.
Santos won this fight with a second round TKO.
Yeah.
Let's do the picks.
Okay, yeah, we'll do the picks. So we all had Thiago Santos. I had him by first round KO. You guys had him by second round KO, which is frustrating because I thought in the first round he was so close to maybe getting a stop.
Very at the end, he landed a huge right and put him down. And
but Anthony Smith is so tough.
Smith did split him open with an elbow too.
Oh, yeah.
He was bleeding. So how far at the end of the round did he put him down? Was that in the final 20 seconds? Am I remembering incorrectly?
Yeah, it was a minute. It was a minute into the second. In the first round, you're saying?
Yeah, he put him down at the very end, didn't he?
I
believe
was like 20 seconds.
Okay,
left, maybe 30 seconds.
It was a fun fight, though. I'll tell you that much. And that Thiago Santos is really just looking fierce, man. I mean, I don't think he's ever looked better.
Yeah, that's a dangerous guy, man, at light heavyweight for sure.
And nothing. Anthony Smith just came off stopping 3 people, and
yep.
And I just felt that even though Anthony Smith was in the fight, I just felt like, man, this is a matter of time. And Thiago's looking on. He's looking focused, and shit, man, he's got a really nice skill set. I enjoyed that fight.
Did I say light? I meant middleweight. Sorry. He's in middleweight.
What the fuck's the matter with you?
I don't know. It's a fun fight. That was fight of the night, too.
And me and Jimmy got both 2 points on that? What do we got?
Yeah, so you guys got 3 points because you got
3.
the winner, the round, and how he
yeah.
did it, and
Fuck
I got
yeah.
2 points for that.
Okay.
Douglas Silva de Andrade against Marlon Vera. I think I got that one wrong. I know that Vera had I believe, had height and reach on him. And it just seemed like he was staying away a little bit too much. He was not being aggressive.
You heard that I'm sorry. You heard that in his corner also. They were kind of like, "Yo, what's the matter with you?" Like,
I don't watch the corner stuff because a lot of times I watch on delay, and I'm just jumping ahead because I'm trying to get the fights in before my flight in the morning or after my flight.
So, if possible, it's hard when there's a lot of people over or something. But when I'm watching by myself, I like to hear a lot of that stuff.
What they're saying, sure. See if it's good.
Because it'll show you the fighter if they're making the corrections. You know.
Yeah, DeAndre's very good. He was very. His combinations were great, and I just thought that he pushed the action, and I thought he clearly won. It was a unanimous decision, I think.
That was a unanimous decision. So I was actually noticing though that he was telegraphing a little bit when he was spinning some of his spin techniques, and I was wondering if Marlon was going to catch on to that. He did sort of towards the end of the fight, but D'Andrade had a great fight.
Yo, Captain Capoeira, tell me what the fuck was our points on this fucking thing? Instead of spinning,
I believe I took Vera.
We actually didn't end up picking this one because this got moved.
John, that's right, John Dotson's fight.
Yeah, this moved up onto the main card. The Dotson fight was the one that we picked.
Why
was that canceled?
So Munoz came in 4 pounds over the bantamweight limit. He came in at 140 pounds. Dotson did not want to fight him, obviously, because he had a significant weight advantage.
Well, I'll tell you,
it was disrespectful.
I want to get to that. Who came in 6 pounds overweight?
Oh, Michelle.
That was that.
Don't
was the
tell me that
Michelle
was Michelle. You're right, Prazeres.
Prazeres. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about that. Do you want to?
No. We'll do Tim Johnson,
let's
Marcelo
do that
Gome
first. Yeah,
because Gome.
Okay.
I know I picked Gome. I think I picked him in a second round submission. Tim Johnson, just a veteran, just used his. He had a decent weight advantage on him. It was just heavy and just keeping him up against the fucking cage, putting his head in his chin, just dirty boxing.
Yeah.
An ugly
mustache.
Great mustache if you're playing Monopoly, but an ugly win in a way that you'd want to win if you're Tim Johnson. Very, very smart fight. Reminded me a little of Ngannou against Stipe, even though it was a totally different set of circumstances, but just the idea of keeping him pressed up and not allowing him to unleash.
Yep.
I thought Gone was like the first Brazilian of the night to lose. I didn't think he handled that particularly well, but again, he's a young guy in the UFC too.
A lot of pressure on that kid. I think he's the first on the card, like up until then.
First Brazilian to lose, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of pressure. How old is he?
25 maybe?
Yeah, I think you're right. I was going to say 26, yeah.
And it's he had a hard time finding his distance and landing his shots, and he was and Tim showed his experience. How many fights does Tim have? Because he looked like an experienced guy versus a younger maybe more skilled guy, but Tim was really, the way he fought was very smart, and it really paid off for him, man. He went in there with a game plan, and it might not have been the prettiest thing, but it got the job done.
Yeah, he moved to 12-4. Tim Johnson. Marcelo Gome is 25. You're right about that.
And how many fights does he have in the UFC and probably in general, please?
1, 2, 3,
What was he?
4, 5, 6, 7. That was his 7th fight, Tim Johnson, in the UFC.